We have people still in shelters as we speak. So this is the way things are. So it means we need to dismantle Hamas military capabilities. This is the first thing. There is a second layer, which is Hamas leadership. Hamas leadership calculately made this barbaric massacre at the 7th of October and still holding hostage 199 innocent children.
I understand why you want to get that.
Can I ask you something?
Why the question
are you ignoring,
is whether you can do it.
Why? The answer is yes. The answer is we must. And we have the backup of the international community. But I want to tell you something. As we speak, Hamas is still holding hostage these people. So I want sensitivity to the humanitarian case of our hostages. They need to be released immediately. And the Americans were part of demanding that. International community should stand with Israel on this humanitarian case.
And you can see that they are not going to be released as long as you are bombing Gaza.
This is exactly what Hamas...
It's not going to happen, is it?
This is the equation Hamas wants to create. But I want to tell you clearly, Israel won't hold itself to defend its people. This is a war of defense. We have no other aims. I mean, Israel went back to the international border in 2005. So we didn't have to deal with Gaza, but they wanted to destroy Israel. So they started a war, and we will make sure Hamas won't exist on our borders. And everyone agrees this should be the mission.
The question is whether you can do that without massive, massive civilian casualties. Already, Israel has killed 2 or 3 times as many Palestinians in its bombing, Palestinian children, Palestinian women, as were killed in the Hamas attack.
So just
that can only, and you haven't even begun yet. You haven't even begun the ground war. So the question is, are you really talking about erasing a people here when you're talking about erasing Hamas? You know, where do you draw the distinction between Hamas fighters and ordinary families?
It's so clear for us that the moral values of Israel are so clear. We never target civilians.
Now, you kill them.
No.
You may not target them, but you do kill them.
So I will tell you something about that. Just yesterday, we were witnessing, I think this is actually, if we take that as a microcosmos of the problem, it will be easier. The fact that the media was reporting about this bombing of the hospital, blaming Israel, zero responsibility on accurate report. The fact that 3 hours later, we were delivering accurate message. The fact that, wait a second.
All of that is disputed. I mean,
Krishnan,
you can say it's accurate, but
can I tell you something?
There is
if
another
you want
version.
to listen, then you need to give me to portray the whole picture, because this is a complicated conflict, right? So we need to understand what Israel was going through. So we checked our intelligence. We were actually bringing to the table all the evidence that not just that Israel didn't do it. We showed to the world a phone call between 2 terrorists in Gaza,
which is highly questionable.
Saying nothing is questionable, because we've seen both the British and the American accept the fact it was for 100% Israel didn't do it. So you had the jihadic Islam.
That call is disputed.
The jihadic Islam.
There are many people who say it is not authentic.
Krishnan, I want to tell you something. There is a massive difference between attack of a rocket and airstrike. Out on the ground, you could see the hospital was there. It was a rocket attack, clearly.
You cannot see the rocket. You cannot see the rocket land on the hospital in that video.
You can see the parking lot.
You can see an explosion in the air, and then you can see an explosion on the ground. You cannot prove that those two things were linked. There may have been other ordnance involved.
I will tell you what is a proof. We have a segment of our intelligence recording Hamas terrorists saying, this is a jihadic Islam rocket.
Well, as I say, that is disputed.
You cannot be more clear. No, it's not. This is exactly your mistake.
It's disputed by them, and it's disputed by other people who've listened to the tape and say, that doesn't sound real.
It's more reasonable to you to listen to Hamas propaganda, a terror organization, than to a democratic country.
No, I'm not saying I'm not just saying it's Hamas alone, but there are other people who have said that tape is disputed. And I can't say it's true or not true, but all I'm saying is
I will tell you something.
It is disputed.
The intelligence
and
services,
all the evidence that you've presented is disputed, as is theirs.
So I will tell you something. The intelligence services, both us and the Americans, thought it was credible. And this is why President Biden said very clearly...
The Americans are your closest allies. It'd be extraordinary if they rejected
So you think basically Hamas is more reliable than Americans?
No, but I'm saying the fact that the Americans support you does not necessarily mean it's true.
But this is a microcosmos of the fact. And there is a matter of a fact, 30% of the rockets fall in the land of Gaza. So it means basically they don't care killing their own children.
But right now, as I say...
Can I ask you something? Why are you not taking a moral statement here to say you don't care about your own people by firing rockets, the 30% of them land up in Gaza and end up killing civilians.
You can take that moral position, but
because the Palestinians are basically, they don't care about human rights, and they don't care about the fact at the moment Hamas is committing horrible war crimes, and you cannot ignore that.
But what I'm asking you to do is respond, because you've often said as a human being, as a mother, you want to think about the Israeli victims. Equally as a human being and as a mother, you must want to respond to those Palestinian children.
Yes, I
can
even
who are being killed by Israeli bombs.
Can I speak to a Palestinian women now? I want to tell Palestinian women, Hamas is preventing you to get to a safe place. Israel, for the last 48 hours, created a shelter, created a place in southern Gaza. You can go there. It's Hamas that is spreading propaganda against Israelis and basically preventing from you to get to a safe place. Now, the children of Kfar Aza and Sderot didn't get this opportunity. They were slaughtered in their homes and their beds.
So you are expelling people from their homes.
You get at the moment.
There is a phrase for that.
Over 100,000 Israelis don't live in their homes at the moment. Do you know that? In the north, in the south, there are refugees in their homes. So how do you call that? You call that a war.
There are refugees,
You call that a war.
There are refugees on both sides. Well, so anything goes?
No, what I'm trying to say, Hamas started this war. There is a very, very clear story here. It's not a complexity to understand. Hamas committed the horrible crimes and atrocities, and this is why Israel must defend its people.
There is a complexity, as you know, because it goes back years.
No. That's the mistake. You think it's an Israel-Palestine issue. No, it's not. Hamas is committed to a jihadi ideology that wants to erase Israel from the map. Hamas doesn't want a political solution. Hamas is not interested in any type of political solution. And basically, if you read its charter, what he wants is a genocide in the Jewish people in their homeland. And this is what people realized when they saw these horrible atrocities on Saturday, the 7th of October.
Ambassador, thank you very much indeed for joining us again in the studio.
Thank you.
Back now to Matt.